Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Upper Tier Podcast. It's midweek, it's Wednesday, it's Pro Wrestling Weekly. We are back with another bumper show for you. The road to the Royal Rumble continues. We're going to have a little chat about TNA, Hard to Kill, TNA back with a bang. We're going to be asking you guys, as advised by Daz in the comments, asked me the other night, and I'll get to the comments on the chat in a few minutes. He wanted to do a Royal Rumble Mount Rushmore. So we're going to do a Royal Rumble Mount Rushmore for you guys tonight, and you can give us your top four as well. Your top four Royal Rumble matches that will go on your Mount Rushmore. It doesn't have to be the Rumble match. It can be a match that was at the Royal Rumble. So let us know your thoughts on that. And we'll have a little bit of a chat at the back end of the show about the Iron Claw. So if you haven't seen it yet, I'm sure most of you at this stage know the Von Erich story. If you don't, I'm not too sure what rock you'd be living under. We're going to talk a little bit about Dolph Ziggler. I'm going to be asking you for your favorite Raw logo for Monday Night Raw, and we have a slide so you can pick from. It'll refresh your memory. A little bit of an update on commentary at WWE. We're going to be talking about merch selling and how merch selling is going. Of course, one or truth. And we also have news on two shows returning that most fans will be pretty happy about as well. On top of that, of course, we have your usual weekly flavor of history and some notable birthdays. So if you're in there, make sure you're smashing the like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button for all you OGs in the chat. Going to be a fun show tonight. It's an interactive show. We also have a poll running at the top of the chat there. If you'd be so good to drop us your vote on that. Who is going to win the Fatal 4-Way at the Royal Rumble? Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, LA Knight, or AJ Styles? Let us know your thoughts on that once you've done your vote, and let us know your thinking behind it as well. I've had a look at that situation, and I have some, as you know, I do some out-of-box booking at times. I have a little bit of out-of-box booking at times here on this match, giving you my thoughts on it. Let me know if you think it makes sense, and let me know your thoughts on it as well. And going on the football, of course, you can update us in the chat as well if there's anything going on there. But yeah, let's have a bit of fun on this show and a bit of interactive. So your favorite Raw logo, your four matches for your Royal Rumble Mount Rushmore, and also that poll we have running there as well. That's your homework for this week, folks. Get on it while we're on the show. Let's get into the chat first of all before we begin. Daz is in. Big up, Daz. What's the crack, Niall? Told you, Daz, I'd have your Mount Rushmore in there. Mount Rushmore suggestion by Daz is in the show tonight. He suggested the other night on the show. Stephen's in. Big up, Stephen. How are you, my friend? Hope you're good. Corvo's in. Hope you're good too, my friend. Stephen, what is your favorite ever Rumble surprise entrance? Interesting. Favorite ever. I'll come back, Johnny. Obviously, Edge coming back was cool, wasn't it? Edge coming back was cool. Got an unbelievable ovation and stuff like that. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Let's go through it and we'll see. Everyone will have different ideas and we'll piece it all together. Sean's in. Big up, my friend. Boom, boom, boom. Let me hear you say, hey, yo, hey, yo. Looking forward to popping in on Saturday. Good man. Looking forward to seeing you as well, Pat. And I'm in on Saturday, by the way. So look forward to catching up with everyone. Daz is in. Blackpool nil, Forest 1. That won't keep our resident referee happy at all. He's a Blackpool fan. He was expecting a tougher night at the office, but Forest off to a flying start. Sean, so far out of 4 votes, 100% have been for Roman. That's brutal. Well, I have different thoughts on that now. Different thoughts on that altogether. That would not be my vote. Stephen is in. Stephen, I presume they're the Royal Rumbles that you're picking. But it's the Mount Rushmore is not your 4 favorite Royal Rumbles as per year. It's your 4 favorite matches. Your 4 favorite matches from any Royal Rumble. It doesn't have to be the Rumble match. It can be a singles match. It can be a tag match. It can be anything you want. Let us know the matches, not the years. The years kind of take care of themselves. And if you get stuck or if you get sort of caught between two, we'll allow you have a fifth. You can have a sub if you want, because we are a footballing show and channel as well at times. Carver's in. I really enjoyed Royal Rumble 2004. Carver, me and you We're going to be having a chat about that in a little while when we go through the Mount Rushmore. There's no doubt about it. It's a kind of a love-hate situation for me in terms of it's a double-edged sword and all. So yeah, we'll have a look at that, of course. There's in 2000, 2001, 2 and 3 for Rumble Mount Rushmore. Yeah. Again, remember, it's the matches. It doesn't have to be the Royal Rumble match. It can be any match you want. I'm sure some of you will be picking other matches. Henry's in. What's the crack, you lovely man in Dublin? Thank you very much, Henry. Really appreciate all the comments and these kind of things. Rumble Rushmore in terms of matches that happened that weren't Rumbles. Saying the styles. It doesn't have to be, again, folks, that weren't Rumble matches, but that's a good comment from Sean. It can be any match you want it to be. If it's a Rumble match, so be it. I'll give you a hint so far. If I look at my one without flashing it up there, I've got 2 on my Mount Rushmore that are Rumble matches, and I've got 2 on my Mount Rushmore that weren't actual Rumble matches, but they were at Royal Rumbles. So there you go. So that gives you just a little bit of balance. I thought I'd change it up a bit. Flair WWF Championship wins 1982. Greatest Royal Rumble ever. I think, is it 92? 92 Acers. You slipped an 8 in there by mistake. You were 6 years ahead of the first ever Rumble that Hacksaw won. Will Seth have a match next week? That's a big question, Daz, isn't it? A little bit of iffy on the knee here, isn't it? A little bit iffy on the knee, wasn't it? And we know there's history there in terms of knee injuries and stuff like that. And also, I think people were kind of waiting with bated breath on that. We haven't heard anything yet, unless someone has had an update. Let me know. -2 here in the UK. Yeah, it's cold here as well, Henry, too. The kettle was out this morning for the window screen and everything else. I felt like jumping back into bed, but I didn't because I know I had to go face wrestling fans at the shop and stuff like that, which is my joy. All Rumble matches. Very good there. Very good. I like that. 04 was great. Pity they don't mention it much because because of you. Absolutely, you know who, of course. But we're going to mention it here because we're not WWE and we're not overly sanitized, and we can have an adult conversation about it. Big up Henry from Daz. Corvo's in. What was the Rumble where Paul London got turned inside out by Snitsky? Good chat. Answer that in the chat if you can, folks. I'm focusing on it here. Big up Daz. How's you? It's good, Henry. Great to hear, Daz. Hiya, chat. Stephen's in. I only cared about the Rumble match, not the other matches. You should really care about the Fatal 4-Way. Have a deep think, folks, about that Fatal 4-Way. We put the poll up there to trigger thinking. Have a good think about that Fatal 4-Way and think wider than the Bloodline and Roman Reigns. And let me know your thoughts then. You know who, Sean. Yeah, you know who. Absolutely. So we shall begin, and we'll begin with some news. I suppose we'll start with TNA Hard to Kill. What did you think? Your thoughts? Anyone who cut the show, what were your thoughts on this one? What stood out for you? I'm not going to go down through it line by line and all that kind of stuff. Just flash it up there, more of a reminder and stuff like that. I am a big fan of Alex Shelley. Sean is saying that Paul London was 2005. There you go. Jeez, that seems like, how long ago was that? Like, mad. Paul London. What a talent as well at the time. I was a little bit disappointed at Moose picking up the win. Because I'm a huge fan, as people know. Motor City Machine Guns were my team. Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, of course, 2 outstanding wrestlers, and only getting better with time, like a fine wine. These boys, absolutely brilliant. But I did like the way TNA, and they've always done this the way Nick Nemeth came in, formerly known, of course, as Dolph Ziggler. You see him there in the picture, and it was kind of cool, of course, the way he went up into the crowd then, and I think he had the Motley Crue shirt on. Went to rip the Motley Crue shirt. Made hard work of ripping the Motley Crue shirt, I have to say. It nearly didn't happen. And to unveil the TNA shirt, which I thought was really, really cool. Looks the business. Listened to his interview last week. I think I busted open radio with the gang over there and all. And looked like he was enjoying life and stuff like that. But looked like he was missing the action. And he said he was keeping himself busy and training hard and all that kind of stuff, which is great to hear. So really looking forward. Really looking forward to seeing what he's going to do over there in TNA, reinvent himself. And of course, we have that connection now with WWE. So never say never, Dolph Ziggler. And we will talk a little bit more about Dolph Ziggler in a minute, because I do want to talk about him and how people in the chat feel about Dolph Ziggler. But yeah, I thought overall, I thought it was a really good show. I thought that X Division Championship with Chris Sabin and all was incredible. Three incredible performers in it as well. I thought Josh Alexander versus Alex Hammerstone, I thought absolutely stole the show. Two big physical guys absolutely brutalizing each other. And I think Alex came out of the match as well looking really, really good as well, which I thought was absolutely brilliant. Really enjoyed as well seeing the grizzled young veterans back on screens and stuff like that as well. I'm sure Sean, who's an OTT regular as well, would have enjoyed that as well for many reasons. And of course, Mike Bailey, who I've had the pleasure of interviewing, of course, for Morris's channel, and the interviews on our channel as well, if you want to check that out as well. An absolute gent. And of course, Trinity as well. In her knockouts match as well. And sneaky little feeling about Trinity in the Royal Rumble, I have to say, and about Sasha Banks, but we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. And then, of course, it culminated with Shelley and Moose. And, of course, Moose looking every bit the champion that he is. The guy's an absolute huge monster. But Ziggler comes out with the cheap attack from behind and declares himself, not Ziggler, what am I saying? Nick Nemeth, I should be saying, not Ziggler. What am I saying, Ziggler? Force of habit. But yeah, so overall, I thought it was a really, really good, solid card. Bits of it I'm not obviously mad into and stuff like that. More of it I am. But I thought it was really, really, really good. I think most people who've seen the show, I think they were pleasantly surprised by it and stuff like that. But certainly it announced TNA back on the pro wrestling stage where it should be, and that was pretty cool and stuff like that. So, yeah, that was my thoughts on it. We'll keep an eye on it, of course, down the bottom as well. You've seen Dana Brooke debuting there as well as Nick Nemeth as well. So that was pretty cool as well. So the whole thing put together was pretty cool and stuff like that. Well booked and culminated. There was structure to it and everything else. And I'll have to say I'm a huge fan of the X Division, even as a big guy myself, not tall, but big. I love the X Division. Those guys are just unbelievable. It was such a guilty pleasure for me, that X Division, when it was around and stuff like that. But I tell you, some of the comments here, the comments are flying in at the moment. Where do I begin? Here we go. Acers. Rumble match 1992, Hart versus Razor. 1993 title match, I Quit 99, Street Fight 00, and Benoit and Jericho ladder match, and Angle and Benoit 2003. The size of your Mount Rushmore, Acers. The size, you're nearly rattling off a football team there. I thought Hard to Kill was brilliant. It gave me early days TNA vibes. Exactly, Corvo. Exactly. It was like we were teleported back, wasn't it? And so many names in there. It's mad, isn't it? When you go back and look at the old TNA and stuff like that, so many sprinkling of names in there that were involved potentially at the time and all. And, Rhino and all that kind of stuff and all. So it was really, really cool. 2005 should be the best for the West Side Story team of the trailer. Yeah, absolutely. Was watching this on split screen with the UFC on the other side, but what I saw was very good, in particular the X Division 3, where yes, Sabin is just, those three boys are unbelievable. Del Vikingo as well, unbelievable. Kushida, really X Division guys and stuff like that. And it was great to see Sabin in that prominent position, and also Shelley in the main event and stuff like that. Really, really cool guys. Deserving everything that they get. TNA should have hired Alicia Fox instead of Dana. Never say never. Laredo was a better fit for Speedball than Total Nonstopper. So Trent 7 as Sammy D calls him. Yeah, absolutely. There's a little bit of heat there at the moment, isn't there? A little bit of good stuff building there, So I like that. When it gets to that stage. And Sammy's class. Dolph went out with Sonny for a while. That's right, Stephen. A short while. Would you believe he made quite a road trip, didn't he? Wasn't he at a pay-per-view, I think, was it down in Miami? And he drove from Miami up into middle Florida or something to meet her at a hotel or something like that. Mad, isn't it? Mad when you think about it. Crazy. Better than people give him credit for, but WWE made him very bland. And even though he didn't win everything, I think he's done it all. Absolutely. Toshi's in. Big up, pal. How are you? Hope you're good. Ziggler was wasted after his world title run. I think he could have been used a lot better. Absolutely. And we're going to be talking about him. I have a slide there that I'm going to bring up, actually. I wanted to get your thoughts. I was going to talk to you last week about it as a kind of a prelude to TNA, because I think most people thought Nick Nemeth was going to show up anyway. But let us know your thoughts on this. I'd like to get your thoughts in the chat on Ziggler. How would you feel the career went? How would you feel from a WWE point of view? How it went? I've always regarded this guy as one of the best workers in the business. I thought he was brilliant in WWE. I thought he really was wasted, and it was interesting to hear that story the other day. I think on Busted Open Radio it was about how he was always just hanging around and waiting, but he was always that guy that was ready and willing to step in and do whatever needed to be done, which sounded like a model employee. And he was there just shy of 20 years. And you don't say in WWE 20 years or near 20 years unless you're something special. I always thought his ring work was excellent. Um, I thought his selling was second to none and stuff like that. And all. I just thought he was an all-round great performer. But let us know your thoughts on Ziggler, folks. How did you feel about him? He probably should have achieved more or achieved it sooner. But even when they slip him into different little angles and they put him into other storylines and stuff like that, like I even really enjoyed when he went down into NXT and stuff like that, and all was pretty cool. Daz is in. Would you put Moose in the Rumble? Could happen. That's a great shout, Daz. I never thought of that, but that's a great shout, and it could easily happen. Eric is in. Big up, Eric. How are you, my friend? Sorry I'm late, and no need to apologise, my friend. You show up most weeks, and we love having you here. But I think, yeah, if WWE wanted a good surprise outcome, let Randy win, and then have Mania be Randy versus Cody. Eric, you're talking my story, my friend. You're talking my story. While Roman versus Rock wouldn't a title, thus making the outcome less predictable. Eric, hats off here. Folks, smash it up. Spam the chat for Eric there. That is the shout of the night. Remember when I said think wider in the box than just Roman Reigns and the bloodline? Eric's just after knocking out of the park. These were my thoughts exactly. That Roman potentially wouldn't be going into the WrestleMania as the champion. We heard a report already that he's not going to be at the Elimination Chamber. So there you go, Eric. Spot on. And I'm thinking when you're talking about completing, Cody talks about completing this story. And when he talks about completing this story, what do we really think of? That whole legacy thing with Randy Orton and the way it went and stuff like that. And you know the sad thing about this? The sad thing about this is, unfortunately, Ted Jr. isn't available. He's going through all that stuff at the moment. So it's a pity he's not available as well for this whole legacy kind of thing and stuff like that. But I think Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania for the belt, where Randy Orton does the job for Cody Rhodes, sounds to me more like finishing the story, doesn't it, than Roman Reigns. Let us know your thoughts, chat. Eric, quality, my friend. Toshi, I'm digging the old school looking ring with the blue apron, sheets and yellow ropes. Yeah, absolutely. Love seeing the vets. Saw them as recent as October in OTT. They couldn't get any more heat if they were in the desert. Yeah, I actually have I have the shirt up there, Gibson shirt up there, the Scout one, which is really, really cool. He was brilliant in the early days of those days of OTT and stuff like that. He got great heat. Having TNA back in the spotlight is definitely good for wrestling. It is good for wrestling, and good for wrestling, kind of not in an AEW way. I think TNA are very stable at times in the way they do things and how they make moves and stuff like that. So they're very calculated in their moves. Scott D'Amore is in there, of course, and stuff like that and all, and it's really could be good. John's in. Big up, John. How are you, my friend? It's good to see Ziggler and Dana Brooke and TNA. It really was good to see them back and stuff like that. Yeah, good to see you, my friend. And Sean is in. They're both surprisingly nice, especially Gibson. I was wearing their scarf, and James Drake smiled at me and gave me a thumbs up. Yeah, they do that, and they do that really, Sean. Do you ever notice the way they do that real slyly after they've cut like a heel promo? They might turn around to you and wink and go, "There you go." If you have the shirt or the scarf or something like that, real old school way of thinking and stuff like that. Very cool. Funny thing about the vets and OTT is James Drake is actually not so bad. We just hate Gibson. Yeah, absolutely. Vikingo was also a genuinely good guy. I saw he was at GCW and he wrestled the last match, then stayed for autographs and then helped pick up rubbish. Absolutely, isn't it? This is what you want, isn't it? That's what you want to see. John's back in again. Too bad TNA Impact gets only 100,000 viewers a week. Might change with these moves coming. Those streaming agreement and stuff like that and all. Sure to boost it. And I tell you what is going to boost it if Trinity comes out at the Rumble with the belt, or as they suggested earlier from Daz, if Moose comes out into the Rumble with the belt or something like that, that will certainly catapult it and move eyes over there to go, wonder what's going on over there. And of course, Ziggler, I'd imagine, is going to help it. Dana Brooke, I'm not too sure. We shall see. Probably not as much, but certainly Nick Nemeth, he's certainly going to change things. There is indeed trouble brewing with Sammy and Trent. Trent was meant to face Sammy at the Rumble, but pulled out, and Sammy thinks he doesn't care about OTT and only cares about himself. Mid-card career, I think, unfortunately. Yeah, and that is the thing, isn't it? Unfortunately. But you could see there, done it all and held it all basically and stuff like that and all. But he was always the consummate professional, always there, always ready to step in. He mentioned even on the show how he was ready to step in if someone got injured or if it was a late pullout or a travel issue or something like that. He was always there, willing to step in. And also, if you think about most of the times he stepped in and stuff like that, he made you interested in the match and he gave you a reason to be interested in the match. And that's all a performer can do, even in a late call-up and stuff like that. So, yeah, big props to Ziggler. He told Joe to give a title shot to someone in the back and not to ourselves who twiddle their mustache. Yeah, I seen that. That was absolutely class. I loved that bit. The man is a Grand Slam champion, so I think it was a good career. He made lemonade out of pish, and that WWE gave me absolutely, yeah. That's what I'm saying, and that shows the quality of the guy and stuff like that. Glad you guys are thinking the same as me. Right, Raw logo time. Let me know what your favorite Raw logo was. I said I'd pop them up there for you, and as I go along, I'll keep on trundling through the comments, and you can let me know. So naturally, Joe Buxami to face Flash Morgan Webster in Tala, and Trent Seven for the title in Wolverhampton in March. Interesting. Funny how Jinder Mahal has been the most over in his career in a long time, and it's not even because of WWE. But what do you think of him? I think he's a specimen. I think he's in unbelievable condition. I just don't know. I don't know in 2024. Man saying that, isn't it? 2024. I don't know if that character kind of has a place and how does it fit and stuff like that and all. So I'm not too sure, but yeah, it was kind of cool. I loved the back and forth with AEW when they were kind of calling it out and stuff like that, and he had to go off them and stuff like that. I like that. I like the way people come out and they defend themselves and they go for it and stuff like that now, which is really, really cool. Eno's in, what's a crack, Niall? You're on the TV, bro. I'm on the TV. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Zane is in Survivor Series 2014. Survivor Series 2014. I've heard a rumor X-Pac is returning as a surprise entrance. Yeah, I heard an interview from him there the other day that was saying he wasn't planned to be involved, but that could be just a side thing. Zane, Royal Rumble. There we go. Toshi, let's hope he doesn't tear his anus again. Yeah, absolutely. Imagine. I'd put Trump in the Rumble. Would he survive? I think he probably would survive. He's probably survived worse. Jinder Mahal isn't used at all. Yeah, I think they're going to change that though a little bit. You know yourself, it only takes a certain little thing to trigger something, and then the company just latches onto that and runs with it. And I'm sure they must have been having good crack in the background at the responses back and forward on Twitter and stuff like that and all. Tony doesn't do himself any favors at all. So he doesn't. I saw Randy say his dream was to face Cena for the title in the main event of Mania. Tread very carefully, lads. Don't see that being the case. Yeah, don't see that being the case. I'd be surprised. Evening, bro. What's the crack? How are you, Baz? Seeing Baz today. Always great to see you, pal. Me and Baz off to the Rumble with Gramo next Wednesday, folks. Don't forget, next Wednesday there won't be a Pro Wrestling Weekly, but I will be putting up smaller videos, just taking video footage of the trip when we start from Dublin to Orlando to Tampa to the Rumble and back and all that kind of thing. So your next Pro Wrestling Weekly will probably be in 2 weeks, probably back on the 1st, so it'll be 31st. Probably the Wednesday, the 7th or 8th or something like that. So, but we'll catch up on everything as much as we can. Rather watch paint dry. There you go, Stephen. No messing around. His story finishing is like veer. Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's getting a little bit jaded, I think. Laugh out loud, Stephen. There you go. Still think Roman winning until SummerSlam. You think they're going to push the Hogan record, do you? That's going to be tough for us, isn't it? When you think about how excited we are going into 2024, pro wrestling on this huge upcycle at the moment and stuff like that. To keep Roman as champion all the way through to that kind of Hogan record and stuff like that, that would be a tough first 7-8 months, wouldn't it? Talk of Rikishi returns, of course, absolutely. Evening Richie and Carvo's in. Imagine WWE brings back La Resistance for the thing in France. Don't be surprised. Why would we be surprised? I've never heard Zach Gibson cut a promo on OTT because the boos are so loud they could crumble walls. He doesn't even have to say anything. Doesn't even have to say anything. Maybe it's maybe most of the OTT crowd maybe are Man United fans. Maybe that's what it is. They don't like that Liverpool lad. When Sheamus back, Sheamus could be one of the surprise returns for the Rumble, couldn't he? And why wouldn't he be? Remember, Mr. Perfect came back in 2002. I do indeed. I do indeed. GCW upcoming show, Matt versus Nick. There we go. Toshi's in with 97 to 2001 for his Raw. 97 to 2001. Yeah, Raw is war. What a logo that was. Let's see. Carvo's going 97 to 01. Best logo. 97 to 01. Yeah, Raw is war. 2009, as I was a lad. 2009. There we go. Yeah, the Raw one. Just going through these. Eno's going logos 1 and 2. He's spreading it Monday night Raw, of course, and then Raw is war. Absolutely. Eric is in. He's going for 2002. 2006 logo was good. 2002, 2006. Yeah, I like that one as well. Yeah, that's one where they used to do the like the welding around it, wasn't it, and stuff like that. And that was pretty cool. 1 and 3, 1 and 3. Yeah, 3 is cool as well. It's real kind of Titantronish and stuff like that. No, the Raw's War one is the one that stands up. Even when we get in retro shirts and we get in the Raw's War one, it absolutely flies out the door. Flies out the door, the retro shirts. You know who could be a kill coming for the Rumble? Mr. Kennedy. Yeah, absolutely. Imagine. There's so many. It's mad. I was talking to people in the shop today. There's great excitement going into this Rumble, the springboard 2024 in the right way and stuff like that. TNA, of course, doing a great job the other day and stuff. And we were talking just how exciting it is about wrestling at the moment. There's so many storylines embedded into stuff, and so many storylines even that can come out within storylines and all that kind of stuff. It is really an exciting time for pro wrestling at the moment. Absolutely. What will I do next Wednesday now? You can check out the videos that I post up. Don't worry, you won't be short of content. It's just it won't be as interactive, let's say, for a week or so because I will be gone. Pimp Daddy Baz is in the house. There you go. Has Dazzler ordered anything off that I sent you yet? No, I'm not too sure. I haven't spoken about it. I sent it on to him all right, but I know he does love those crates. I can't believe I have 3 Jinder Mahal figures in my collection. Stephen, I'm not surprised at all. That doesn't shock me one bit. I know it's tough, but he nearly there, so who knows? There you go. I remember one time Gibson was cutting a promo and the bills were so loud he was signaling to the guy in the sound desk to turn his mic up, but it was up the whole way and you still couldn't hear him. Absolutely. Yeah, I was on adverts and I saw a listing from my town of a guy selling a job lot of 66 Chris Benoit figures. Absolute shambles. There you go. I don't like the 2006 2009 one logo as they had Nickelback as their theme. So nothing to do with logo. It's all your fault, Nickelback. It's all your fault. I got to go. Just came in for a while. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Thanks, Henry. Thanks for dropping by as always, my friend. At Stephen Dillon, who would have 66 Benoit figures even before the tragedy? I would have. If I could find 66 of them, I would have. Absolutely. And don't deny, Sean, you would too. Got to shoot, and I'll catch you later, pal. Enjoy the rumble. Cheers, pal. Thanks for dropping in. And Ian's in, would like to purchase a Black Raw is War retro, bro. Not a problem at all. We will get that sorted for you. Find out when they're coming back in. Everton 1, Palace 0. Gomez 2 minutes till half time. Brilliant update, Daz. Appreciate that. So I think we're going there. Is it unanimous? We're going with the Raw is War logo is the one. I think it is, I'd have to say. Merchandise update, of course. R-Truth takes top billing this week. Both his shirts. The standard one, the picture one, and also the one with the names and all. So cool. And this R-Truth stuff is just hilarious and all. It's not easy as well to outdo CM Punk and Cody and all the rest of them and stuff like that and all. But R-Truth took top billing 1 and 2 this week. Just goes to show when you do little things in a certain way, how the WWE universe just latches onto it and goes with it and stuff like that. So pretty cool. CM Punk, I'm sure he'll still be happy in Tour de Force. No doubt he'll be back into first and second in no time at all. Jey Usos is in there. Roman Reigns levels above one that I do like. Randy Orton strike first. Rhea Ripley. Obviously Jey Uso, the white version as well. And Bray Wyatt's legacy still in there in the top 10. Bray Wyatt, yes. That's what we want to see, isn't it? Sean, since I hopefully be in the shop, any ECW stuff off the top of your head? I think we do have some DVDs as far as I know. There might be some that you have already. But you look, we'll muster up something, won't we? We won't have your trip being a waste of time. Dana Brooke ripping Tony Storm gimmick is absolute ridiculous. It is, yeah. But just brought to you in colour. Brought to you in colour instead of black and white. Yeah, actually, but I don't even double digits of anybody in figures. Even my beloved OVW stand out. The prototype. You don't have double digits on Cena. I'm shocked at that now. I'm shocked at that. I would certainly have a lot of Ultimate Warrior stuff. So we shall see. New R-Truth Dominic t-shirt on Raw was quality entertainment. Yeah, absolutely. R-Truth's brilliant. He is brilliant at the moment, isn't he? And Eno's in. You have Big Daddy figure. Anyway, you'd be able to get the World of Sport Road Warriors. I don't think so. I can't see them being produced. I do have a Big Daddy figure. Absolutely. So, folks, news as well. Commentary. Changing it up a little bit and stuff like that. But PW Insider has reported that there are people in WWE keen to see how Kevin Patrick copes on SmackDown without Michael Cole at the desk with him again. There is believed to be a feeling among some that Patrick has to step up his game as a commentator if he wants to continue in that role. And we hope he does, of course. He's one of our own, Kevin Patrick. Hope he does really, really well. And this is an opportunity for him to step up and show what he can do and step out of the shadow that was Michael Cole that was there on the commentary desk with him. If you want to check out more about him, he gave a great interview to Morris on Cheap Heat Productions as well. Check out that episode as well. He's an absolute gent. If Morris is in the chat, he can drop the link and stuff like that, but just find it on Cheap Heat. It was only a couple of weeks ago we did it as well. It was a real good interview and a great insight. And he's just an all-round, he comes across as an all-round good guy. Who's just really in love with life and stuff like that and also. And he made the point, when WWE come calling, you don't say no. Yeah, so we shall see. We shall see. Bonkers is in at Acers. People saying she's not Tony. She's not Tony is a movie star and Dana a model. There you go. There is similarities though, of course. Corvo, could we see a Damian Priest R-Truth tag team in the future? Their chemistry together is quality. You could, anything can happen in that situation. Don't have double digits on anybody, but I think I have 3 or 4 Cenas over my lifetime. Is that all? And you're the king of the Cena Nation on this podcast. How can you only have 3 or 4 John Cena figures? I probably have more than 3 or 4 John Cena figures. And you're the Cena Nation guy. Dana Brooke is absolutely clueless. Garbage wrestler. Yeah, pleasing on the eye though. Love seeing our fellow countrymen and women succeeding, but he's poor. He does need to step up, and we hope he does, of course. The more that's in there, the better, of course. Because this, of course, strengthens our push to try and get a premium live event in Ireland, in Dublin, hopefully. So we want them all to be successful. Corvo is in as well. I love if they brought back Todd Grisham as an announcer, but he's happy at ESPN. I met Todd Grisham and Josh Matthews actually at WrestleMania 22 with the boys. Baz would have met them as well. They were hosting the Midday Madness. Two great fellas, and we had great crack with them on the day and stuff like that. They made the queuing much easier, let's say. Todd's a good guy. I never had WWE figures, just the games. There you go. You're not a figure collector, Corvo. Um, that's where me and Stephen come in, and Sean and a few others. There might be more Cena, but I can't remember. But my earliest one I remember was a Flex Force Cena who came out on a conveyor belt from Argos. Cavan, my brother got a Triple H figure. Those Flex Force ones were terrible figures, weren't they? Terrible, terrible figures. Let's talk about these two shows that people are going to be happy. Morris, I'm sure, will be thinking about this one, but Rivals is back on A&E. I think it's starting in February or something like that. And this is kind of the breakdown of what's coming this season, as far as I know, unless I've got it wrong, but I think it is anyway. Triple H and The Rock, Jake, The Snake Roberts, Macho Man Randy Savage, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, John Cena, Randy Orton, Hardy Boys versus Dudleys versus Edge and Christian, and The Miz versus Daniel Bryan. I hope I got them right. That's what I read the other day. But some really interesting ones there. Undertaker, Shawn, very interesting. Of course, Hardy's, Dudley's, and Edge and Christian. Really, really interesting. Jake and Macho is going to be very interesting as well. We know all that story, the snake and the venom and all the background and that stuff. And of course, Triple H and The Rock would be interesting as well, because we know there was quite a clash there in the dynamic at all times. And The Miz and Daniel Bryan sells itself. So yeah, that's going to be back on your screens, I think, starting in February. Where am I? Sean. Did that one already. Then I got a CM Punk, so I could have my Cena stuff him and go into business for himself. There you go. Kevin Patrick's absolute garbage on SmackDown. He badly needs to be replaced. Back to interviews, not commentary duties. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. He's one of our own, so we're not going to hammer him. I could never see John Cena. Corvo, should have had Jake the Snake versus Honky Tonk rivalry. Was the guitar fake or not? I think the way he laid it in, whether it was fake or not, I'm sure was quite a headache. Yeah, Honky didn't hold back on the guitar, a la Jeff Jarrett as well. Yeah, so yeah. Why does Morris interview a lot of corn stars? I think he likes to flavour up the channel, as they say. I think he likes to flavour up the channel, as they say. He likes to have a slight dynamic in there as well and stuff. Some of the interviews are good. Some of the interviews are interesting as one. There was one there about the girl, Amy, I think it was. She did a real good interview and she gave a good background to her life and all that kind of stuff. It's not sometimes some of the dross you see from some of them and stuff like that. But Morris is really good at interviewing and stuff like that. He talks about their life and how they got into the business and how they arrived at where they are and what the business is like and how they feel about it and how lucrative it is and all that kind of stuff. So they're very interesting at times. They're not just, it's not just seedy content. It's worth watching. Cena and Orton will be a lovely trip down memory lane. You're not getting Cena Orton. You're not getting Cena Orton. Not after that. Not after that solo debacle. You're not getting Cena Orton. There's no way you're getting that. The Mountie always gets his man. He does, yeah, the Mountie. Seen him over at WrestleFest, wasn't it, with Darren when we were at Clash of the Castle? He was there. Dark Side back in match, Corvo. Yeah, that's our next slide. There you go. Dark Side of the Ring has been renewed on Voice TV, which shocked me. I had to get on to Morris and goes, what's all this Voice TV? I thought they were gone. But apparently they have renewed it for a 5th season. Haven't heard much of what's coming out. I don't know if any of you guys have heard anything. It's going to start in March. Not sure have they put together an episode listing or anything like that, but it's sure to be very, very interesting. That's a little sort of thing that I like as well. Dark Side of the Ring. And of course, we will review the episodes as we always do. They're never easy, but delighted to hear that a 5th season has been renewed, so it's going to be very, very interesting. Aces, shame Vince McMahon didn't go with Hogan versus Roberts for WWF Championship. Would have loved to see Hulk reaction to King Cobra. Yeah, absolutely. Sean is in. Nah, I meant Cena and Orton for Rivals. Oh, yeah. Perfect. Absolutely. That should be good, actually. Have you seen Jackie Gaden now? No, she looks rough. I did. I seen her at Did I see her at a WrestleCon? I seen her at a WrestleCon. and she looked unrecognizable. To be honest with you, very sad. I was only talking to Darren today, this evening before the show. We were talking about wrestlers that we've seen, doing little interviews and snippets and stuff like that for autograph signings and all. And it's worrying when you see some of them. You know what I mean? I told us I met Lex Luger a few years ago. It was WrestleMania 38 we were at, and I met Lex Luger, and it was tough. It was tough. Um, it's not easy when you see them like that and stuff like that, and it's a difficult one. I clicked into one, the bird wasn't wearing anything. What do you mean you clicked into it? You stayed there. Don't lie. You stayed there. I clicked in and I got out of there as quick as I could. Yeah. Dark Side of the Ring. We should have a China episode. Could potentially be one. Let's see what happens. Where am I? What else? Right. Mount Rushmore time. Mount Rushmore. This is what I went with for mine. I did include one or two here, okay? So, of course, the Flair one is in there. Came in at number 3, left with the belt. I included then Foley versus Triple H. That match at the Rumble was just absolutely sensational. And then I put in Slaughter versus Warrior. And the reason I put it in there at the time is I think everyone thought at the time, if I can remember, my thoughts at the time was that Warrior was going to go in and win, and we're going to have Warrior Hogan 2 at WrestleMania. But they turned it on us. And Slaughter ended up picking the win and going on. But so much within this match and stuff like that. And when you get that passion and stuff where people are riled up and stuff like that, you spoke about Jinder Mahal earlier and stuff like that. But I put in there Warrior versus Slaughter as one of them as well. And then of course I put in Edge. I just thought his comeback and stuff like that, and the way he came out and the pop and everything and all, but yet didn't win it. I thought it was kind of cool as well. It kind of pushed us a certain way. And of course, I included the 04 one, Chris Benoit, which is a tough one for me. It's one that I look back on where, I was so happy at the time. I was such a Chris Benoit fan. Won the Rumble, went on, and then to see him and Eddie in the ring at WrestleMania 20, and the confetti coming down and both of them there with the belts, and they climbed the mountain. You remember their stories coming through Japan and coming through, the toughness of WCW and all that thing as mid-carders and trying to work their way up and somewhat being held back by the bigger guys and the bigger booking and all that kind of thing. And going into WWE and Eddie, first of all, climbing that mountain and realising his dream, and then to see Chris do it as well. And you remember the build up to the match and the locker room stuff and all that kind of stuff, and to go out there and put on an absolute clinic in that triple threat as well to win the belt, and to see the two of them standing there in the ring. And then, unfortunately, everything else that happened, of course, Eddie's passing, and then the tragedy of the whole Chris Benoit thing and stuff like that. And also, sometimes I look back at that Rumble and I think about it, and I think maybe, sometimes is it your destiny the way these things go and all, and we'll talk about it with the Von Erichs as well. Is it your destiny, really? If he hadn't have won the Rumble, would he not have gone on to WrestleMania and win the belt? Would other events have changed? Would things not have happened? If you take a left instead of a right on a certain road in your life and stuff like that. No. But yeah, it's one that I hold close in terms of, I love it, but I also think what might have been and stuff like that and all. So they're the ones I put on the Mount Rushmore. I gave you a couple of rumbles, and then I gave you a couple of matches. And I thought I did a reasonable job in balancing it out. Let me catch up. Eric, I'm guessing one of the episodes could revolve around the Heroes of Wrestling show, which would be interesting to see, even though it was a thing for everyone involved at the time. Yeah, absolutely. Could be. Congo 1, Zambia 1. I have to say, the AFCON is just crazy, isn't it? And a Mike Awesome episode, a difficult thing. Yeah, absolutely. 2002 Rumble match was good. 1995 Rumble match Warrior, yeah. But again, let us know the ones you want to put in there. It's always the case. You don't have to have any of these in there. I think for most people, I think that the Flair one goes in, doesn't it? I think you have to include the Flair one. And I think probably it would be very difficult to take out the Foley Triple H one as well. The other ones, there's probably debatable points back and forward and stuff like that between earlier ones and later ones, and we've had so many of them now, and everyone's to everyone else is a different thing and stuff like that. Dark Side of the Ring, Nails episode, please. Oh my god, imagine. Maybe Crash Holly episode, a lot of dark stuff there. Yeah, unfortunately, I was a fan. I was a fan of Crash. I have to say I was a fan. Or Test, maybe. Test to be a good one, wouldn't it, Stephen? So many. It's mad when you think about it and you see what pathway the Dark Side of the Ring is taken, and you go down through all the episodes and stuff like that, and it's mad. We think like they're going to run out of content, they're going to run out of topics and stuff like that, and then a simple episode like this one, and you guys are coming out with great stuff. Crash, Holly, Test, lots of real nails, lots of really good stuff come out there. Good Lord, Sonny, madness. Probably did one on her already if I can recollect, but yeah, absolutely crazy. They did one that they kind of included her in the Candido one, didn't they? But yeah, it'd be interesting. Rockers versus Bushwhackers '88 and the 2000 Rumble match for The Rock. Good shout, Daz. Good shout. Dark Side of the Ring should do one on the Booker and Ahmed beef. Good Lord, have you been following this? Morris just there like that, probing away. Fair play to you, Morris. Absolutely. This is gonna be it's gonna be crazy. Yeah. Could happen. Don't be surprised. Morris has his finger on the pulse there. Morris has been in bed. His podcast is being used by Voice on Dark Side. So hey Joanne, how are you? Good to see you. Mr. Perfect there. Yeah, absolutely in the background. How could you forget him, Joanne? Mr. Perfect. Ric Flair, Randy Savage, Dusty Rhodes, Hulk Hogan. You're starting your own Mount Rushmore now, are you? You're going in there with people instead of... These are all matches, by the way. These are not people on my Mount Rushmore. We think we've done that one already. That's hi, Joanne. Them two and both other two I put Niall. Yeah, absolutely. Quality, Daz. And listen, thanks again. Great suggestion. Funniest Rumble match moment was when Macho Kazuna then tried to pin him when he eliminated you. Remember that? He was absolute macho madness, wasn't it? Macho madness, but we loved him. They could probably get an entire 2 seasons of late WCW stuff. They could, yeah. And probably, and a good shout there, Eric, because now would be probably a good time to do it because most of the people involved are still alive. So it would be a real good time to do it. Joanne, Mr. Perfect was my favorite wrestler. Absolutely. So that was my Mount Rushmore, folks. While I just take a look, I want to take a look at our poll. 70% Roman Reigns, 30% Randy Orton. I wanted to give my thoughts on this fatal four-way booking. I have a funny feeling similar to Eric. I'm thinking that Roman Reigns is not going into Mania with the belt, and I don't think they're going to leave the belt on him all the way to when it breaks Hogan's, either in August or September or whenever it is. So my thinking is he's going to drop the belt when we least expect it, and people are not expecting him, as you can see by the poll, to drop the belt at the Royal Rumble. So the problem I have with that is from a continuity point of view, if you like. If he's capable of beating AJ Styles, Randy Orton, and LA Knight all in the one night in a fatal four-way, you're going to have a hard time convincing me that Cody Rhodes beats him clean at Mania. I think it would be very, very difficult to convince me on that. So what my thinking aloud today, and I was chatting with it today with Baz in the shop and various things like that, and on it kind of made a little bit of sense. I think Roman's going to drop the belt to Randy. And then I think he's going to go into WrestleMania because he's not scheduled for the Chamber. He's going to go into WrestleMania against The Rock, and it's going to be like for the head of the table or something like that. And we're going to go down the road of kind of Rock and Hogan from WrestleMania 18, where they come in at loggerheads and the family all comes back together and they leave one big happy family and they have their WrestleMania moment. Probably night 2. I think Randy then takes the belt, and then he becomes the new target for Cody, and we get all the legacy stuff coming out and all that kind of stuff. And when Randy was there for the start of Cody's career, that's how you end the story. And I think that Randy drops the belt at Mania to Cody Rhodes, and that Roman Reigns beats The Rock but it's in a kind of a Hogan Rock Mania 18 type of situation, and they leave best of friends, and you get the Usos back together. You have Solo there. I think Umaga's son is wrestling down there somewhere at the moment as well. He could come in. We know Rikishi. There's a lot there going on at the moment. And I don't think they're going to splinter the family, because I think probably when Roman, if he drops the belt and has his mania situation with The Rock, I think after that he probably goes off for a while, and then he comes back as Roman Reigns, and it's kind of not a bloodline thing. It's kind of something different. That's what I think is going to happen, and that was my thinking in putting the poll together out there. So at the moment, 67 saying Roman Reigns, 33 saying Randy Orton. Let us know your thoughts. Yeah, Jacob Fatu, let us know your thoughts on how you think this is going to go. There we go. Acers. Does WCW World War III Rumble count? You can include anyone you want. If you want to put it on your Mount Rushmore, all well and good. Ric Flair winning the Rumble in 92. Absolutely. Acers, who do you think Sting's last match could be? It's talk of it being a tag match, isn't there? Isn't that the talk going around at the moment? Ataz Reynolds, it's against the Young Bucks. Yeah, isn't that that for me is just so disappointing. So disappointing. Imagine having the career Sting has had, and your last match, if it is his last match, but that's what they're marketing as, his last match is going to be against the Bucks. Yeah, just, I don't know. Just it boggles my mind. Hulk Hogan winning the Rumble in 1991. Randy versus Cody and Roman versus Rocket Mania. I'm digging it. Yeah, what you think, Corvo? Is that the way we're going? Eric hit it on the head earlier, and that was my thinking exactly. Hence, that's why I put up the poll. I'm surprised that people are still in on Roman with the 67% there, but however, if Seth Rollins' injury is legit, then Rumble matches for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? That would be interesting. I like that, Acers. I like that. Jacob Fatu and WWE, I'd love that. There you go. Randy Savage for almost winning the Rumble in 93. Pop Patterson even resigned over the scandal. Sure did. Sting and Darby winning the AEW tag champs in Sting's last night. That's not enough for me, Acers. I followed Sting's career since 1987 or 86. There's no way that's enough for me. That can't be the case. Bowing out on a set of tag straps. Not for me. Don't hinder the gender, give gender the title. Big shout, Corvo. Big shout. Right, let's get into a little bit of history for you. And we got some Royal Rumble history tonight as well. And Sean, if you're still there, I even have some ECW stuff here. I didn't let you down this week. I told you I'll include at least one every week for you. So we'll start off. We'll go back 1989. This was the first ever Royal Rumble pay-per-view. So remember, we had the 88 one with Hacksaw, but this was the first pay-per-view one. Took place in Houston, Texas. Great place. I was there for Mania 25. Crazy city. In the main event, Big John Studd won the titler 30-man Rumble match. 2017, the second night of WWE UK Championship Tournament took place at the Empress Ballroom in Blackpool, England. In the final, Tyler Bate defeated Pete Dunne to become the inaugural champion. Elsewhere on the card, Tommy End, the future Alistair Black, Malachi Black, of course, what a wrestler, made his WWE debut. What a wrestler he was. We've seen him in the Tivoli. Outstanding. Let's get some comments here. Jinder badly needs to be fired. Oh my God. What guy do you have the most figures of? For me, Hogan, Macho, Warrior. Hogan, Macho, Warrior, and Flair. They're the ones I have the most of. Steve Austin winning the Rumble in 97, 98. Yeah. Big John Studd. There you go. Orton. You like Orton, do you, Steve? That's your mouse figures is Orton, is it? Or are you pitching Orton for the title? Let me know. Orton is your mouse figures, maybe. Right, 2020, of course, Rocky Johnson, father of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, passed away at the age of 75, sadly. 1999, you ready, Sean, if you're in the chat? Taz retained the ECW World Heavyweight Championship against Chris Candido and then Shane Douglas at ECW House Party in Philadelphia. There you go. Always include that in there for you. 2000, WCW presented the sold out pay per view in Cincinnati, Ohio. The main event saw Chris Benoit defeat Sid Vicious for the WCW World Heavyweight title in the main event. And of course, we know what happened after that and all. Absolutely crazy. Nah, I have the most of Hogan. Yeah, they just make so many, even in recent times. How many Hogan figures? I don't know, Stephen. Did you see the triple pack they've done? The triple pack they've done. I think it's on Target. Looks amazing. Looks amazing. Definitely one I'd like to get my hands on. Looks really, really cool. Acers, $1 Million Man should have won that Rumble instead of Big John Studd because of $1 Million Man not get rematch for WWF Championship after WrestleMania 4. No disagreement there. I just think Orton is going to win the Fatal 4-Way. Yeah, that's my thinking, Stephen, as well. Taz the Midget, I digress. There you go. Leon is in. Big up, Leon. How are you, my friend? Thanks for joining us. Absolutely. There's go. Must be a wrestling fan. If your surname is Watts, you have to be a wrestling fan, don't you? Big up, Leon. Thanks for joining us. Stephen's in. I have the triple pack, but I'd rather not say how much I paid for it. Oh, you got it, did you? You got the triple pack already. It looks class, doesn't it? Big up, Stephen. I'd say you paid a wedge for it, did you? Absolutely. 2000. Test defeated the Big Boss Man for the WWF Hardcore title on WWE Raw from New Haven in Connecticut. R.I.P. Test. What a wrestler he was. And the Boss Man, of course. Very, very sad. I think actually I'm not too sure. I'd have to check the dates, but I think the Boss Man was one of the first wrestlers to pass when we had opened up the shop, I think. Very sad. I'm not sure on the timing on it, but I'll check it. 1971, the longest WWF, then WWF Championship reign, came to an end at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Ivan Koloff defeated Bruno Sammartino to end the champion's historic 2,803-day reign with the title. 1998, Stone Cold Steve Austin won the Royal Rumble in San Jose, California, with Mike Tyson in attendance, securing the number one contender spot for the WWF title at WrestleMania 14. Rest is history. 1991 in Miami, Florida, the Royal Rumble pay-per-view took place and played host to the first WWF Championship title change on pay-per-view outside of WrestleMania. The change saw Sergeant Slaughter win the belt from the Ultimate Warrior, after we spoke about it earlier, after an assist from Macho Man Randy Savage. No doubt that scoundrel Macho Man Randy Savage. For the second year in a row, Hulk Hogan won the Royal Rumble match itself. That's the match we were talking about earlier on the Mount Rushmore. Now, where are we? Yeah, I can just imagine Nick Aldis will cost Orton the title at Rumble, setting up their WrestleMania 40 match. No, don't see that happening. No chance. 120 including shipping. I just had to get it. Gonna try to get it signed someday. Yeah, absolutely. He's doing a signing at the beach shop while I'm over there, actually. Looking for $300 for an autograph, so I'm not too sure. I might be tempted. He's won, as I said a few weeks ago. I am missing, but $300 is quite a wedge. Do you know how Jamie's daughter is, Niall? I haven't heard anything. I assume she's good. He's back podcasting and stuff, and also I presume she's fine. Big up, Jamie. We had different views today on Twitter, myself and Jamie, in relation to Talk Sport, talking about Liverpool's defence. Don't know if you got both tweets. We did opposite opinion on it. Leon's in. Roman Reigns, the title. Roman Reigns hanging on to the title. Fucking disaster, that Sid versus Chris Benoit match, WCW 2000. Absolutely. Darker side of Hulkamania. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe that's what they might go with. Where are we? 1992. The WWF Royal Rumble pay-per-view took place at the Knickerbocker Arena in Albany, New York. The main event saw Ric Flair win the vacant WWF Championship in what most fans consider the greatest Royal Rumble match of all time. This was the first time the title belt had been offered as a prize in the match. Flair, who only found out that he was going to win the match moments after he arrived at the arena, was booked to showcase his endurance by setting the new record length in the match. He entered at number 3 and lasted over 59 minutes until the end of the match. Hence the reason that's on my Mount Rushmore. Absolutely unbelievable. So it was nice. I tied in some of the history with some of the Rumble matches for Rumble Week and with some of the Mount Rushmore stuff that we did. Um, I got the Ringside Collectibles exclusive Foley 3-pack 2 on pre-order. Yeah, that looks pretty cool as well. I've seen that as well. And I've been noticed some of these is the 4-pack or the 5-pack they're doing of the Bendums and stuff like that as well. There's some really cool stuff coming through, actually, Stephen. It's just the amount of money involved is crazy, isn't it? Damian Priest cash in at Rumble, maybe. Interesting. That could be the setup for the world heavyweight belt if Rollins is injured. That could be the way that goes. That would be interesting. Let's see what happens. If Orton wins at the Rumble, that is a big shock. Then Cody winning at Mania. Yeah, that's kind of where I am on it. And don't worry, you'll get a video with my reaction on the night in the stadium if that happens, because I will be going bananas. Did you see how much Taker is charging? Disgraceful. I did, Stephen. Look, I've been talking about the cost of these things till I'm blue in the face for probably nearing a decade at this stage. It is a disgrace, and people are still paying it. And as long as people pay it, they will charge you. Corvo, mad that Maven has more subscribers than The Undertaker on YouTube. That Rumble elimination is still paying off. Yeah, his YouTube. What do you make of his YouTube stuff, Corvo? Some of it's interesting, isn't it? I was always like, I was a fan of Maven. I actually think that they dropped the ball on Maven, that they could have done good stuff with him. People have other ideas and stuff like that, but I actually liked him. I thought he was cool. He had character, and his timing was always good as well, especially on the mic and stuff. I did like Maven. Tell me lies, tell me two sweet little lies. Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Probably more than two. Hard to keep on top of it, Stephen. It's endless and it's relentless. How are you doing space-wise? Space normally dictates these things as well, doesn't it? Flair was always going to win the Run 92 because Vince was sick of fans complaining about World Heavyweight Championship always being blurred on TV. Yeah, absolutely. I One I didn't like Maven doing the Undertaker. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Forest 2-0 up according to Acers. All good. Carver's in. I think it's decent. Gives you a good look into the running of things. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Absolutely. I think he's a very humble guy. Fair play to him. Yeah, absolutely. And look, if they're all doing well, that's what you want. Do you like Cafe de Ren? I do. I catch it occasionally. I'll tell you who's a big fan of it. Dar, who does be in the chat, is a huge fan. He watches every week religiously and stuff like that. And also, some of it is good and some of it isn't. I'd like if it was presented in a better way. I don't think the presentation of it is. I think the presentation sometimes as well lets down a little bit, but he gets great guests and stuff like that and all. And he's a great guy. I've spoken to him a few times. He's been in the shop a couple of times, stuff like that. Love Rene. Has a really good mind for the business as well. I had an opportunity to talk to him for about a half an hour in the shop, and we spoke about NXT and development and stuff like that and all. And very, very clever mind in terms of the business and stuff like that. So fair play to him. Wish him nothing but success on his podcast and stuff like that. Who knows? Backlash in France. Anything could happen. Kenny's in. Have a special edition Maven figure. He's mounted on a WrestleMania 18 stand. Nice. Nice. I do like that. And Kenny's been keeping me updated, folks, as well on the book, the Heroes book and stuff like that. I've seen some more artwork this week and stuff. I ain't going to share it with you yet, but we have big things planned, hopefully, for the launch of this book in the shop and stuff like that. And you're all welcome to attend. All sorts of good stuff going on today. Hopefully, there'll be giveaways and all that kind of stuff and all. Book looks like it's going to be absolutely stellar. And I told you before, this is not just a book that you read. This is a piece of art. And you check it out. And if you do, check out his first book as well, which is really excellent as well. Bristol 1, Norwich 1. Let's see who the pool get next in the FA Cup. That'll be interesting. I like Jason Sensation's impressions of wrestlers. Yeah. It's crazy. Bristol 1, Norwich 2. Looks like we could be getting the Canaries. Roman Reigns isn't appearing at Elimination Chamber and Backlash. There you go. So that would lead you to believe if he's not appearing at the Chamber, he will probably have dropped the belt. So who's he going to drop the belt to? It has to be Orton, doesn't it? If it's going Cody's way, it has to be Orton, doesn't it? Is the Rumble on a Sunday or Saturday? It's on the Saturday. Saturday week. I'm getting out of here next Wednesday. The Rumble is on Saturday, and I'll be back the following Thursday. Saturday, Stephen. There you go. Niall, Does your store have a website? Now we're on Instagram. We're on Instagram, Wrestling Mania Dublin on Instagram. If you need that or you want to look at that, and hit us up there and let us know. And if you fancy coming over for a weekend and stuff like that, if we're doing the book thing and all, it's gonna be cool. Kenny's a great guy and stuff like that. You'll really enjoy it. Be worth coming over for. Does yeah, there you go. Looking forward to this book from Kenny. It's gonna be outstanding. Outstanding. You thought the last book was good. This one's going to be incredible. Me and Kenny were talking the other night about it and stuff like that. No, stellar stuff. Let's round out with some notable birthdays. Del Boy is in. Big up Del Boy Gunner TV. Don't forget to check out this Saturday, 12:30, Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. And Del Boy and Kyle, I think they're going to be doing their first watch along, if I'm not wrong. It's on Del Boy Gunner TV, and it's going to be absolutely electric. This is going to be lambs to the slaughter. Get ready. It's going to be a heck of a watch along. One of the best and most anticipated I remember in recent history. Del, if you have the link, drop it into the chat. It's no problem there at all. Get it in there. Del Boy and Kyle Gunner Walsh watch along this Saturday, 12:30 for the Crystal Palace game. Arteta better bring his A game or it's going to be lambs to the slaughter. There's no doubt about it. Any Vivisailers in stock? No, absolutely not. Who will Gunther face next, Niall? I'm not too sure. After what happened on Raw. We had Xavier on Raw, didn't we, and stuff like that. I'm not too sure. I think he'll just continue along in terms of what he's doing to a point where he eventually drops the IC belt, and then he'll move into the World Heavyweight or the WWE Championship position as well. And they'll start booking him strong. Del Boy, anytime, my friend, anytime. At Acers, Roman wasn't at Backlash last year either. Yeah, he kind of takes time off and stuff like that because the build-up, I can just imagine how stressful it is for these wrestlers. The build-up from the Rumble or Survivor Series all the way to Mania, through Mania season, the Elimination Chamber, the Rumble, all the different TV stuff, the house show schedule, all that kind of stuff. And then even just imagine the actual pressure of just Mania week being one of those top guys. Like imagine Roman Reigns WrestleMania week and the pressure that entails, the appearances, the promotions, the signings, all these kind of things. Absolutely huge. Brock Lesnar, Brock Lesnar has to show up at the Rumble, doesn't he? Dell says hi, Daz. Either. Big up, Daz. And big up, Bonkers. There we go. Right, let's round out with some birthdays. Blackpool 1, Forest 2. Interesting. Some good games tonight, folks. Picked out some nice notable birthdays for you. We're going to start off with Kelly Kelly, 1987. I always feel weird where I start with a women's wrestler and I give away their kind of birthday and stuff like that, in the year and all. As we know how women sometimes can be quite sensitive about their age. Shane McMahon, Money, 1970. Eddie Graham, 1930. The Animal, Batista, 1969. Mark Briscoe, 1985. Dexter Loomis, 1984. And Carl Machine Gun Anderson, 1980. And we rounded out with the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, 1954. That is your notable birthdays for this week. Like I said, I won't be back next Wednesday with a show like this, an interactive show, but I will be dropping videos and blogs and all in relation to the trip for the Rumble. We'll be making videos and doing predictions and all that kind of stuff and fun with the guys when we're over there. If I bump into any of the wrestlers, no doubt I'll hit them up and see what I can do, get a little sound bites off them or little videos off them if I can. I think he's not too sure. He got released in that last wave, didn't he, and stuff like that. So I haven't heard a whole lot about him. But yeah, so we will be putting up content to start, of course, and there will be little bits of football content going up and all, but it won't be the usual schedule and stuff like that because I'm going to be on either a 5 or a 6 hour time difference. So when you guys are all active, I will be asleep in the bed. So until next time, folks, make sure you check out all the channels in the chat, and don't forget, get over to Del Boy's channel as well and put a notification on that watch along. It's one not to be missed. I'm really looking forward to it because I'm working on Saturday, so it's going to pass the day for me as well in the shop and stuff like that. Really look for it. Any AEW wrestlers' birthdays, Noel? None this week. But what I'm going to do, that is just for you, because of that suggestion for the Mount Rushmore and all, I'm going to start including one or two if I can find them. Literally, it just tends to be what spits out, and I just take a selection. I don't take them all because there'll just be too many. But yeah, I will keep you informed on them as well. So until next time, folks. As I said, support all the channels in the chat. If you can, hit a like on our one, share the content, hit the subscribe button, bell notification, all that kind of good stuff. If you have any suggestions for the shows, of course, always send them on to us as well. Like Daz the other day with the Mount Rushmore one for the Royal Rumbles and stuff like that. Anything you want us to cover as well, we'll do our best to cover it. Have a safe week. Enjoy the football. Enjoy the wrestling. I am back tomorrow night with Darren. Thursday Tier Talk. We're going to be here. We're going to be doing AFCON. We're going to be doing Premier League. We're going to be doing Beat the Bookie. We're going to be talking transfer news, all the latest news. Make sure you join us for that as well. And then Friday, I'm doing a preview, I think, for the Bournemouth game. I think it's going to be Friday, but it'll be up there in the channel. Feels like I haven't done a Liverpool podcast in forever. So we're going to get one out there as well. We'll be talking all things Liverpool, not just the Bournemouth game. Plenty to discuss and stuff like that. Disappointing transfer window so far, but we need to bring people in. I saw Gunther versus Brock. If Seth's injured, then who knows? Could Brock win and face CM Punk? That would be cool. Brock versus Punk. Brock versus Punk would be cool. The only thing is I don't want Gunther to be a byproduct of it. Maybe we get something weird that happens and you get a triple threat and stuff like that. I'm not mad about the triple threats, but Gunther, Brock and Punk main event for that belt, triple threat. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on the news over Seth Rollins over the next few days and see what happens. Eric saying, bye Niall, until 2 weeks from now, I suppose. Have a good time in Florida. I will, my friend. Don't worry, you'll get content up there and let me know. And same for Stephen and all the collectors in there as well. If I come across anything over there, I'll let you know and I'll post little videos, little sort of mini unboxing things and stuff like that. And all, we'll have great fun with them as well. Great podcast show, Niall. As we are now over and out, we certainly are in, and thank you very much. Great seeing you today. Slán, well done, Steve. A little bit of Irish going in there. Andy's in. Hello, Niall. Hope you're well. I'm really good, Andy. Just about to finish. Just to let you know, Andy, my tip for winning the title Saturday week at the Rumble, Randy Orton, your guy. Hopefully he does it. And Mo is on tomorrow on BBC Three, Niall. Absolutely. We'll take a look at that as well. That's appreciate that. On the next time, folks, safe week. Enjoy the football. Enjoy the pro wrestling. Do what's good for you. And we will talk to you all again real soon. Cheers, folks.